Good morning, everybody. Mike Vacchi, Princetontrader.com, here with your Tuesday morning pre-market webcast. Okay, it is Halloween, last day of October. We head into November. Before I forget, we're going to do our November Outlook webinar tomorrow after the close. Myself, Tony Rago, Spring Heel Jack, the whole Princeton Trader audio team. We're going to give you our thoughts on the S&P, on the NASDAQ, gold, oil, anything else that that catches our eye. So some good solid outlook, good solid trading ideas for the month of November. So the sign up link is attached here. It's on the website, it's on Twitter, it's on Instagram, it's also here on YouTube. So come check it out. November outlook with the Princeton Trader team. What are our trade ideas for November? Come join us. We always take a ton of questions. And should be really, really fun, interactive, a lot of value there. Okay, so where are we at? Well, you can either play this webcast or you can play the webcast from last Monday, Tuesday. It's totally up to you. Here's the thing. You got the 9-day simple moving average, 67, okay? You've got the weekly pivot at 66.5. The low of Globex is 66.75. The low from yesterday was matching lows at 65.5. We went through that on the wrap up video yesterday around 4:15. That's still up on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook. So what's the story? Well, if it holds the blue line and it holds weekly pivot, then what you're going to get as we head into the rest of the week is you're going to see a steady climb to new all-time highs. Don't think for a minute that the bulls can't do new all-time highs. As long as we stay above the weekly pivot and above the 9-day, that's exactly where we're going, okay? Now, we talked about 77 yesterday. That held price in. And we talked about weekly pivot. That held price up. So, the bulls still have to deal with 77. They have to convert it. If they can do so, then they can print new all-time highs. If not, then we get into, maybe some kind of a trading range. Maybe things get a little tighter through the rest of the week. If we end up in a 11 or a 12 handle trading range between 65 and 77, that's not the worst thing in the world. You can harvest a lot of handles out of that. But if you're going to get any direction, that direction lives above 77 or below 65. It's pretty simple. Like I said, we're dealing with the same thing this week that we were dealing with last week, and it's illustrated really well on a daily chart. I mean, we're back. Here it is. And you can start to see now, you can see the Bollinger Bandwidth, where, a week ago it was sitting around, 3.5 and change. We've dipped below 2. These bands are tightening up. You can see it here because we spent a lot of time very close to the daily midband. It hasn't been violently truncated like it was back here. You see the small ranges, right? You can see how that's opened up. But the bands are starting to compress. Compression, expansion. Which way? I don't know. Neither does anybody else that, has any credibility at all. But what you have to do is understand that expansion moves are coming, that as long as big markers like weekly pivot and the 9-day simple are holding for the bulls, chances are that expansion would be to the upside. If those areas like that break down and convert to resistance, then you'll get expansion to the downside and probably one really nasty head fake, either up or down, in favor of the losing side, the ultimate losing side, before they do. So we are entering now a compression environment on the daily, although it's compressing in really nice ranges. But just based upon the Bollinger Bandwidth, as we get into November, and we'll talk about this tomorrow at the webinar, we're going to be looking for some expansion, which should be a really nice volatile month to trade. All right, everybody have a good one. I will catch you for the midday update. Talk to you then. Trade them well. Follow us over on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Princeton Trader. Check us out on Facebook and join us for a free trial at www.princetontrader.com. Trade them well.